Okay, lockpicking review number 2. Again, now this is the hardware store's deadbolt. We're going to give that one a try. And this one's a little bit different. How you got to hold them, how you got to do things, and obviously the orientation of it being attached to a door is going to be different, but fundamentals. Get some of the practice on just the fundamentals. That's all we're trying to do here. So this way, there's no way I could have had this pick to control. This is just right out the gate. You know, I want to make sure that you know that I'm not picking this stuff to control, which means I've had it generally picked. This one's going to be a beast. This one's going to be not super difficult, but it does have some high-low bidding in it, which is, when you want to buy a lock, this is certainly better than looking at something like this. That's going to be a problem for a picker. Okay, so let's see if she works, firstly. So I think we don't need this. Alright, she does work. And she is locked. Okay, I think I go either way with this one. Yeah, I go either way with this one, but obviously. So we are locked. I'm going to turn it like this. You see, I can turn it in either direction. It means I can pick it from either direction. I don't have to be biased to which side I got to go. It doesn't have to matter in this case. I'll probably use my deep one. And with this one, it just gives me more grab, and those pins are in there a little bit deeper, so I can go ahead and just get it in there nice and deep and get a good pressure bit on it. Now again, if you were sitting at the door, you're just going to hold tension against this with the door because there's going to be immediate pressure, and this is going to be off the door a little bit, so you're just holding it like this, looking at it. Trying to get your up and down. For a picker, go low. You know, you want them fucking in there like, you know, underneath the door handle is better, or right approximately above it so they can't get their hand. You know, you want that door handle to cause them all kinds of problems, so you want it right above there, which is usually where they are, but keep it kind of low. You know, if it's right there where they were going to be able to get to it, you got a high deadbolt or something like that, you're basically wasting your time. If they are way away from each other, you're wasting your time. You're making it real easy for a picker. Right above the door handle. Ooh, she got some nice warding in there too. So we're going to go ahead and use a low pick. Nice small hook. And we might switch over to a medium pick or try to sneak that deep pick in there if we can get a good feel on everything. So I am getting good bidding on this, and the warding is actually helping me. This has 2 bits of warding. I'm just coming off of this one instead of normally coming off the bottom like I normally do. On that master lock, it was something similar to this, except for it didn't have this notch. I was just putting pressure right on that side, and I was getting it up in there. So, same deal. One thing when you put that in there, you want to try to make it as flush as you can. It doesn't always happen that way. It just helps it from not slipping, or if you put coming forward with it, it helps it from not slipping up. But you don't want pressure on that first pin for 2 reasons. One, you don't want to be inadvertently trying to pick this, and also by putting pressure on that pin, it may make it harder to feel it and go. You might have too much pressure in there and it's binding it up. So there's something to look for. Medium tension. I think I felt the click already. Onto that one. That's my high pin. Nothing yet. The last pin is nice and deep down in there too. So what that warding is doing is really giving this lock a lot of help. by coming up like this, I'm pushing on that first pin. And when I get past all that stuff, to put a little pressure on that, it's making those last few key pins. Those guys right there, I'm putting a lot of pressure down to get to this one, and only have a little bit of space right there. So it's really going to overset this one quite a bit once I get trying to get this one. I'm actually going to go switch picks here because I wasn't getting a good feel. I need something that's going to get me up in there a little bit better. There we go. I still get down in there fairly well. Alright, so we're getting all the way down there. So this pick should work. I'm not pushing on warding. That was a nice little click. Well, that one's not binding, so we're going to go to the next one. Bingo. Okay, so that's our deadbolt. And again, I think I got to the third pin, and because these are so low, it might have been that I just raked it, or that because the shear pressure, because these are so low to where they normally are. Something you might want to look for, and even though it's standard bitting like this, you want to look at the two keys in the shop while looking at locks. And this one's low, but you'll see another one, pretty much the same bitting, but it's a lot higher. That means that I have to pick every lock, every pin. And in some cases, that just doesn't happen because the pins are so low. And you'll just hit that top one and the torque, and you'll go back and forth once, and just by touching one and it didn't have any pressure on it, and immediately put it up in there, and there won't be too much feel about it, and you'll just get lucky. But with them higher key sets, you want high bitting across the board and peaks and valleys. You want to see a mid-range key set, so every one of them has to be picked, but you still want that high-low on that the best you can. That in combination with good warding is going to be a very secure lock. But again, you know, I'm mid-range pickers as far as picker goes. There's some people that are just really good, and on top of that, if you got the equipment, if you got a full range of picks, thickness is really key. Your range of up and down, you can hit or miss. You can have mediums on top of, between the large deep hook and the medium, you could have one set there, or 50, just based in the measurements. And that can make a difference. And that's where skill is going to come in. You want to have just your basic range and be able to work with inside of that, within feels. And I overset something, so let's tweak it a little bit. You know, that comes with years and years of experience and just going for it. So, all right. What do I use, my medium pick? All right. So we're going to keep going. Keep this show rolling. We got a door handle here, and again, this is one of those security guards, but as you've seen, I popped that first one pretty quick. But those other two I had there, or other three, sometimes they just don't go. They just do not give it up. And you could spend, you know, if I spent 5 minutes or better on each of those, I'm sure I'd get them, but because I've got them before, and I generally haven't picked the control, but it's making a mess right now. Now again, this is the same principle as before. Obviously, this is not in the door. So we got to hold this one a little different. We have to make sure it's locked, which it is. It's not locked. Another 800 psi CO2 canister, but this time with a dangerous difference. There's no TV feature on the water or on the chemical foam, and that was kind of exciting. This one's got some nice wording in it too. Okay. And again, this one's going to be a little tricky. That one in the back there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, it might be a little low there. So the first one's going to be low. This second one's going to give me the most problems. Everything else after that should be straightforward. So holding these are usually the pain in the butt. You want to get it all in there, set up the best you can. Give it a little bit of pressure. Just holding everything together. The thing about these ones, I've done them before, is you can really, they just have a real subtle feel to them.
So Jamie takes one water pistol and connects it to another. It's the basis for his water stun gun.
To this, we're going to attach a stun gun to supply the electricity, so that when we fire this stream of water, we actually zap someone. That's why we call it the Aqua Zap.
And Adam's already seeing marketing opportunities.
Allow me to walk you through some of the finer details of the new AquaZap water suspect acquisition system. This will be worn on your belt in the field. When you see a suspect, all you've got to do is find a source of some salt water. Normal tabletop works just great. Throw enough water into your tubes, and then aim at your suspect. Pull the trigger of this electric device right here. Electricity will travel through these two wires.
Trouble getting on that pin.
They're in the water stream.
I think I got it.
When those water streams hit your suspect, oh, they are yours. Give practice.
So we've got our gun. We've got it hooked up to stun gun power. Now we need to test it.
A little bit more pressure on
Find
it.
out is whether the stream of water is able to carry enough
With
electricity
pressure.
to zap somebody. I have a plan. It works like this. You get a couple of buckets. You put a couple of metal plates at the bottom of the buckets. They're wired to a meter. You shoot water into the buckets. The electricity flows through the meter, and you can measure what you've got, whether it's enough to actually zap somebody.
Not bad. It sounds a little complicated.
It is a little bit, but I happen to know a qualified electrical engineer. We could bring him in.
And that highly experienced engineer is Grant. He's got the job of putting together the two-bucket target with copper sensors in the bottom. All will be revealed on his oscilloscope reader.
And we'll know if the signal is being transferred to the target via the water by what we see on the electrical screen.
With everything set, Jamie's ready to wield the wacky water weapon. So cue the sarcastic sidekick.
I think it's clear that one of these is going to be on the belt of every police officer in the country inside of a couple of years, man. This thing's going to shake it.
CIA, take note. This might be the moment of truth you've been waiting for.
Did you get something?
I did actually get something.
Jamie's bullseyed the sensors, but the zap detector has brought up a dodgy reading.
What it's reading like is that it's like it hasn't made contact with a person yet.
And this means just one thing. Over to you, Grant.
Now, interesting thing about stun gun? Two phases. First phase